We are very proud to open this event with a speech of an important ambassador of the industry. Here is for you the Belgian Minister of Energy and President of the North Seas Energy Corporation, Tinne van der Straeten.
Thank you, Caroline. Good morning to you all, dear ladies and dear gentlemen. At the end of November, I visited the offshore wind farm Seamate in the Belgian North Sea. I watched the construction of the last wind turbines in the first offshore zone. And two things struck me. First, the passion and expertise of our Belgian builders. And second, the fact that in only 10 years' time, these wind turbines are 3 times more powerful than the first ones constructed. It all started with an ambition set by policymakers more than 10 years ago, and pioneers to make this ambition a reality. And today, Belgium is number 4 worldwide in the production of offshore wind and a global leader in this technology. We can proudly say that our wind farms are our national pride, just like our beer, our chocolate, and if you allow me, Belgian fries. This is not the end, but the continuation of what I believe is a Belgian success story that still holds a lot of untapped potential. The North Sea has a renewable energy capacity of 300 gigawatts. And 10 years ago, we dreamt about installing a wind farm in the North Sea. Today, we dream about transforming our North Sea into one big sustainable power plant. How will we do this? First, this government is committed to doubling our installed capacity and look for additional capacity, both in our own waters and beyond. My team is working hard to see how we can accelerate this process. And together with Minister van Quickenborne, I've launched geophysical and geotechnical field studies in the Princess Elizabeth Zone. By bundling the field research necessary to obtain permits, we put less burden on project developers as they do not have to carry out the studies themselves. And this means we can move faster and that the timing for the tenders and the construction of the second offshore wind park is on schedule and could possibly accelerate. Second, we need to form partnerships with our neighboring countries and those around the North Sea. This we can do by building submarine interconnectors, for instance. Little over a month ago, Belgium has signed a memorandum of understanding with Denmark for a hybrid interconnection. In 2019, Belgium successfully concluded the development of the first electricity interconnector link with the UK called NEMO. We have in Belgium a passion about giving beautiful names to our infrastructure projects. And we continue today to explore possibilities with several countries around the North Sea. Furthermore, as a part of our post-COVID recovery plan, we will create an energy island in the North Sea. This island will serve as an energy hub, opening up a whole range of possibilities, from linking electricity interconnectors with other countries, with Denmark, for example, or the UK, to being a production hub of green hydrogen. Ladies and gentlemen, 2020 was an absolute record year for offshore wind production. Only last week, we broke yet another record. Our wind turbines produced 4 gigawatts, or the equivalent of four nuclear power plants. The offshore wind energy sector produces above expectations, thanks to your passion and thanks to your expertise. Unfortunately, our energy infrastructure does not allow us to fully benefit of these advantages. In April last year, wind turbines had to be shut down due to the oversupply of electricity on the net. And last week, we partially saw the same situation repeating itself. Shutting down wind turbines when the wind is blowing is, of course, the world upside down. We do not have a lot of legislation that foresees priority injection on the net for renewables, and our Belgian nuclear reactors do not have load following capabilities. And the more wind farms we have, the more wind energy we will produce, and the more frequent this scenario is likely to repeat itself. So what we need is flexibility, in winter as well as in summer, to prevent this situation from happening again. And this where I would like to talk to you about the capacity remuneration mechanism. Through an auction system, the government will top up the missing money for energy production companies to invest in energy capacity. This at the lowest possible price per unit. In doing so, we safeguard our energy supply. We make sure the energy bill for citizens and companies does not go through the roof. And we replace our static nuclear capacities by dynamic, flexible alternatives. There are many projects ready to participate in our capacity remuneration mechanism. I've seen this also firsthand when I was working as an energy lawyer. A variety of projects are ready to be rolled out, and they were brought to my attention. It is demand-side management, it are batteries, it is flexible storage, and more. And in addition to the flexibility we need on our power grid, we also need to reinforce our infrastructure. If we increase the capacity of offshore wind, we need to make sure it gets to shore, to companies and to consumers at home. And we therefore need to advance our work on the development of the high voltage power grid. This is, however, easier said than done. People potentially impacted by the construction of power lines are worried about the consequences. I fully understand this and I fully empathize. Public infrastructure is not a mere technical matter for engineers. It is about people too. It has a very important social component. It will always be a delicate balancing act to find the most appropriate solution. A solution that allows us to move forward while minimizing the social impact. I truly believe we need to build bridges between infrastructure projects and people. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is our common responsibility. Let's not lose track why we are putting all this time and effort into creating a regulatory framework, physical infrastructure, to optimize the development and use of renewable energy sources. We are experiencing the hottest year on record in Europe, in Belgium, and worldwide. And this increase needs to stop. To reduce greenhouse gases by 55% in 2030, and in order to become the first climate-neutral continent by 2050, our energy system needs to transition from fossil fuels to clean energy. And much of the energy transition will be about electrification. Renewable energy is the most cost-effective and readily available solution for reversing the trend of rising CO2 emissions. And as I said in the beginning, in 10 years' time, a lot can happen. It was the time needed to make wind turbines 3 times more efficient. Well, 10 years is exactly the amount of time we have to reduce our CO2 emissions by 55%. In addition, we are living the biggest recession since the Second World War as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember what happened in 1945, at the end of the Second World War. People had hope and they believed in a better future. In Europe, this was the moment we built infrastructure such as harbors, airports, highways, our electricity and our gas networks. And this public spending was the bedrock on which we have built a prosperous society, and we continue to reap the benefits of it today. In 1951, in the wake of the Second World War, a crucial decision was made: the creation of the European coal and steel community. Belgium was one of the 6 founding countries. This cooperation was considered as nothing less than a real peace treaty. And what happened in 1951 is also happening today. Yet again, energy is serving as a catalyst for change, for cooperation, for welfare. In 1951 with coal and steel, in 2020 with the Green Deal. The big difference with the past is that the battlefield is now laying in front of us. It is even more dangerous and it's even more global. It is climate change. And once more, energy will play the leading role in overcoming this challenge. With the Green Deal, we are now living a paradigm shift from a fossil-driven energy to a technology-driven one. Clean and affordable. And our doctors and our health workers, they battle the pandemic every day. And it's my, and it is also our responsibility to lay out a framework for a green recovery, to build back better. A green recovery is the vaccine of our economy. In Belgium, and your industry created 1 billion euros of added value per year, a better balance of foreign trade and a positive effect on state finances. In terms of employment, nearly 16,000 jobs will be created between 2010 and 2030 through development, construction, maintenance and dismantling of wind farms and their electrical infrastructure. It is clear the energy transition, and so your industry, will be the employer of the next decade, also in Belgium. Ladies and gentlemen, I've mentioned it several times. Belgium is a land of pioneers. I see this not only in the world of offshore wind farms, but also in the development of the necessary infrastructure for green hydrogen. As you know, the energy transition is not based on green electrons only. Green molecules will be part of the deal too. Hydrogen will play a crucial role in decarbonizing our energy-intensive sectors. There are a lot of exciting projects in the pipeline, and I'm sure many of you have such projects lined up. So that is why I try to make my policy as boring and predictable as possible. The most important thing that I as a policymaker can do for you is clarity. Clarity on where we're heading. Because, to quote Seneca, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. You can count on me, and I hope I can count on you too, on your passion, on your expertise, and on your eagerness to pioneer. I thank you for your attention.